As ever, in her own words, Meghan Sussex launches with Love Meghan on Netflix. For those of us who loved the TIG, we are ecstatic about with Love Meghan on Netflix. What an incredible show. I watched it with a great friend, who is not into the royal stuff. She fell in love with who Meghan Sussex is as a person. We hope you get to know and appreciate who Meghan is as a mother, wife, friend, daughter and entrepreneur. We all want to be a friend and get that lavender towel treatment. If you know, you know. Meghan was curled up in bed with her sleeping 5-year-old son, Prince Archie, on a recent winter evening in Montecito, California. With her phone in hand, she catches up on emails, finalizing details for the launch of her renamed lifestyle brand as ever, and her new Netflix series with Love Meghan. Her husband, Prince Harry, was still in Vancouver, wrapping up the Invictus Games. Meghan had joined him for several days, during which she stayed in close touch with her mother, Doria, checking in on Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, 3, who had both gotten sick, and making sure they were seen by the doctor and sipping bone broth. Grandma Doria is so close to the Sussex family, and the children absolutely adore her. Prince Archie, sleepily telling her, "Mama, don't work too hard." The Duchess of Sussex says, "It was the sweetest thing." Like any entrepreneur, Meghan has tackled the hard work of launching a new business, but unlike most, she has done so under an intense spotlight. In March 2024, her initial brand name, American Riviera Orchard, debuted online. 1 month later, jars of jam with the brand's logo began circulating among pals like Chrissy Teigen and Mindy Kaling. Then came a pause. As anticipation grew, questions arose about when the products would be available, while behind the scenes, she navigated trademark issues. "There are tons of twists and turns, even with the name," she says in her most intimate interview in years. "I was figuring it out in real time." And although she has faced intense public scrutiny at every step, Meghan says the experience has been defined by growth. "I appreciate everyone who gave me the grace to make mistakes and figure it out, and also to be forgiving with myself through that. It's a learning curve." Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, in June 2024, with late dog guy in the kitchen set of With Love, Meghan. Jake Rosenberg, a courtesy Netflix. As Meghan builds her brand, she also continues to expand her life in Montecito. 5 years have passed since she and Prince Harry made the seismic decision to step back from their royal roles in the UK and chart their own path. The UK was toxic and barely survivable. Meghan says the Sussex name, bestowed upon her and Harry by Queen Elizabeth on their 2018 wedding day, holds a deeper significance than she could have imagined before motherhood. "It's our shared name as a family, and I guess I hadn't recognized how meaningful that would be to me until we had children," she says. "I love that is something that Archie, Lily, H and I all have together. It means a lot to me." The Sussex name, she adds, is part of our love story. With Love Meghan on Netflix, the Duchess shares her personal passions, including cooking, hostessing and decorating, with her biggest audience yet. When your children get to a certain age, when you're not just playing in the sandbox with them, but almost playing in your own sandbox again, it's super joyful. As a woman, a mom and a wife, to be able to find yourself again, in a way that was always present, but that you maybe couldn't put as much attention on as you now can when your kids are a little bit older, is a wonderful feeling. Although the couple's 2022 Netflix docuseries, The Record-Breaking Harry and Meghan, famously pulled back the curtain on their struggles within the royal family, this time there's no mention of anything royal. Whenever Harry visited set, he was always super polite and friendly, but it was clear he wanted this to be Meghan's moment to shine, the crew told People magazine. Harry supports his wife. Other royals expect their wives to be 50% of themselves so that they can shine. This is not that. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, photographed in Montecito, California, in March 2024. Returning to her roots. Meghan's 8-episode lifestyle show sees her cooking, crafting, and gardening with friends and chefs while sharing personal stories and recipes, a natural extension of her pre-royal life. In 2014, while filming Suits in Toronto, she launched The Tig, a blog on food, travel, and wellness, years ahead of the influencer boom. But as her relationship with Harry deepened, she shut it down in 2017 and later deleted her Instagram before joining royal life. How hard was it to let go? Well, I loved The Tig, but I certainly love my husband more. So that was a choice I made at the time, and I wouldn't change that for a second. Harry is now loving watching Meghan step back into her creative groove. My husband met me when I had The Tig, and I see this spark in his eye when he sees me doing the thing that I was doing when he first met me, says Meghan. Even though the activities on her new show feel familiar to Meghan's longtime followers, the filming pushed her beyond the comfort zone she knew from her 7 seasons on Suits. I was never really in front of the camera like this, she says. Reflecting on the legal drama, which became one of Netflix's most streamed shows in 2023, she adds, "It's a time capsule for me. I still have the pencil skirt from the first episode. That's the one thing I kept." She remains close to co-stars like Abigail Spencer, and is excited to see the upcoming Suits LA on Peacock. "I love that it gets a new breath of fresh air." With Love Meghan isn't a traditional, stand and stir format, which makes up most cooking shows. It feels as though we're just spending time together, which is what it ended up being, Meghan explains. "I'd make a recipe and say, 'Everyone try this,' and there are certain dishes where you just watch everyone flock in. I'd say, 'We've run out of spoons.' It ended up feeling so communal, and that's the spirit of the show." Princess Lilibet makes her debut on As Ever website, in new photo with mom Meghan Markle. Ads director Michael Steed, who previously worked on the Emmy-winning series Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. "Everyone has this one version of her, but she's just someone who is hustling and working and doing. I genuinely wanted to create an environment where she could relax, and I know the pressures of what she deals with on a daily basis. I was happy that we created scenes where she could tap into that part of her life." Along with featuring her domestic skills, with Love, Meghan also highlights her own product line, which will be available on asever.com. Meghan has hinted that her signature jam will be among the offerings, set to launch this spring. Also launching this spring, her new podcast with Lemonade Media. She's back on Instagram too, for the first time in years. "When I was last on social media, Boomerang was the thing," she says, laughing. "Instagram stories didn't even exist. So it's been a minute." Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, photographed at home in Montecito, California, in June 2024. Jake Rosenberg, a courtesy Netflix. Despite the intense focus of her return to Instagram, where her 2 million followers analyze everything from her outfits to the plates she uses, Meghan doesn't identify as an influencer. "I see myself as an entrepreneur and a female founder," she says, "and if the brand ends up influential, then that's great." And although the show paints a picture of domestic bliss, with Meghan slow cooking berries from her garden, she doesn't consider herself a trad wife, shorthand for traditional wife either. "I like being able to do a hybrid," she says. "Chinese food delivery is a favorite, but even when I get takeout, I will try to plate it beautifully," says Meghan. She encourages others to strive for balance, not perfection, despite her show's beautiful imagery. "The series is about doing what you can do," she says, "and doing it with love." That outlook was first noticed by a friend who visited the set and came up with the name of the show. "Their takeaway was they were so happy to see me as myself," Meghan says. She said, "It's like your love letter to all the things you've loved to do, and if you're signing off a love letter, it's with love, Meghan. It felt right, and I loved that my friend helped create it." Receiving that kind of feedback from her friends, who have quietly supported her through the challenges of recent years, has been meaningful for Meghan. "You have to imagine my friends' experience through the past few years," she says. They spend all this time with me at home, and at their houses or out at dinners. For them to see who they know to be reflected on screen, it brought them a lot of joy. To be continued next week. Make sure you watch with Love Meghan on Netflix, and please share your thoughts. Sign up for emails from asever.com, and follow Meghan on Instagram. Support our princess and send those prayers and well wishes for Doria, Meghan, Harry, Archie and Lily.